And welcome back to another episode of Life in Prison. As always, my name is Zach. So for the ones who don't know, unfortunately, I spent 5 years of my life in maximum security prison, West Virginia state-wise, Mount Olive Correctional Complex, and Huntsville Correctional Center. Since returning, I've received my medical degree, and I'm currently working in urgent care helping others who unfortunately cannot help themselves. What I do is I speak about my time while I was in prison along with getting out. I also do video chat interviews with inmates still locked up in prison, regardless if it's for murder, spending a life sentence, selling drugs, or stealing stuff. Just showing you a first-hand look what it's really like living life in prison. You can sell guns, you can shoot guns, you can sell dope, you can steal things, but at the end of the day, it's going to get you in 7x12 all alone, and I promise you're not going to like it. So today what we're talking about is sexual predators. What happens to them incarcerated? So some people have come across sexual predators while being incarcerated, regardless if it's in jail or in prison. But what actually happens to these individuals? The first time I ever came across one was while I was in the regional jail. Unfortunately, he is a well-known sexual predator. Not only that, he was a rat. Nothing ever happened to him. He got all the comfort from the COs and no one ever did anything to him because he was a big dude and he would slap the fuck out of people and unfortunately end up taking their cheeks. And it's sad because a lot of the times whenever you go to a facility, there's always going to be this mythical person, this legend, this dude, right, that used to roam the halls that would take people's cheeks. No one ever did anything to him. Why? Because a lot of times people are scared that something might happen to them. It's crazy because whenever you're in prison, the mindset is, I'm going to be a manly man and no one's going to ever disrespect me or punk me, right? But whenever you get individuals that actually do take the shit, it's a whole different level. Now, prison's a little bit different nowadays. Back in the day, it was a lot different. Prison's always changing. Now, there's a lot of individuals that's, how can I say it, willing to give it up opposed to people actually taking it. Now, I'm not saying that they don't, but most of the time nowadays, there's a lot of dudes that are just giving it up. Now, in West Virginia, maximum security-wise, there's a couple people that have gone down in history as being infamous booty bandits. You know what I'm saying? Individual named Mohawk, black dude named Mohawk that was up in Mount Olive. They used to take cheeks back in the day. Like I said, Kevin Harrison was another one that was in, statewide, who's now actually doing Fed time. There's dudes that have been known to run crazy tattoos, but also were booty bandits. Now, why is it that whenever people are in prison, these high maximum security prisons where these violent dudes, why do these sexual predators not get anything done to them? You gotta think it's like this. If you come in for a sex charge, right, for fucking with kids or fucking with females or fucking with boys, right, taking stuff, now you have a sex charge and you're no good. But these individuals that sit in prison, maybe for a violent crime or for killing somebody, the moment they start taking dudes' cheeks in prison, they're not classified as a sexual predator, a sexual deviant. There's hotlines in all these prisons so you can call if you don't feel like you want to go up to the counselor and be like, hey, look, I was sexually assaulted. There's these hotlines where you can put a number in and tell whoever's on the phone and let them know what's going on. And by God, they actually do work. After they implemented the system while I was in prison, there's a lot of people getting knocked off that came out the blue because people were finally ballsy enough to go on the phone and be like, hey, look, such and such did such and such, blah, blah, blah. They started picking people off and taking them to the hole, getting sex charges. It's always made me curious though, why is it that these individuals that are booty bandits, why they're not perceived as the same person as these dudes coming in for these other sex crimes? Because you gotta think, now it's different if you're giving it up, but when you're taking it from somebody, that's a whole different type of level. Now, I've met a lot of dudes who used to gangbang, right? But then they end up switching over and started messing with boys. We've all came across a lot of individuals who swung that way, but for some reason, they targeted straight individuals. It was like a game. There's a few people that I was up there in prison with, Miley Cyrus and Maddie, two little pretty much punks that would run around, and they would try to get dudes who were straight to mess with them. It was like this little trophy that they would get. You know what I'm saying? They'd scurry off, try to mess with this new dude that came in who was straight. And by the end of the week, they'd be bragging to all the dudes out in the yard how little Jimmy just got the diddy bop behind the phones over on B yard. Now, we've all seen the prison scenes where you've got these flamboyant individuals coming straight up to somebody and just saying, hey, look, you trying to come to the cell? Sometimes it's like that. But a lot of times, it's not going to be some flamboyant dude. It's going to be this big, masculine guy with a bunch of tattoos, a old Flammin' Ramin, as Spencer would say, trying to get your booty cheeks. It also amazes me also, a lot of these sexual predators, they actually have wives and kids on the streets, but yet they're sitting in prison doing a 15, 20-year sentence, messing with boys, but at night calling their wife on the phone and telling them how much they love and miss them. What the fuck is up with that? Now, unfortunately, we see a lot of the time some of these COs would end up having sexual relations with these inmates. Now, technically, since you are a ward of the state, you have no rights. So if you ever were to have sexual relations with an CO or any type of staff, now they will eventually be catching a rape charge because you do not have the right to say what you can or cannot do apparently while you're an inmate. Technically, they raped an inmate. I don't know how many times I've seen inmates messing with these staff members. When they get out, they have nothing to do with them anymore. Today was just a short video on sexual predators, what actually happens to them incarcerated. At the end of the day, unfortunately, pretty much nothing. Go ahead, hit that like button, hit the subscribe button so you'll be first informed when I upload. I hope you guys keep enjoying these videos. As always, I send my utmost love, Lord, to respect. Keep pushing positivity. I hope you guys come back for more. We gone.